Okay. All right, this is gonna be a quick demonstration for using the type tool in Procreate, and then just showing how to decorate the playlist using the clipping masks. So at this point now, you should have a separate layer for your buttons and also the playlist background. And then also, if you need to, also just make sure to take your time just to clean up the edges if it's a little messy. So I'm just going to eyedrop this red color here. So I drop the red here. I'm gonna get like a finer tip brush. So just make sure to clean up the edges if you need to. Still clean up those parts. Up, done the wrong layer. So just make sure it's on the layer for your background. So I would just kind of go over there, just clean them up. So I probably won't be that nitpicky on it, but if it's me though, I would always just make sure to just color everything neatly. Just erase it. Oops, let me get the eraser. Okay, but just make things look neat and clean now. If you need to clean it up, no, I'm not gonna do it for this video, but just clean up the edges if you can though. And sometimes when it resizes though, it doesn't, make the edges clean. Okay, so let me show you guys how to use or actually before the type tool, okay, so basically you just had to set up clipping masks for your buttons and the background. So on this layer here, so the layer that's right on the red background, you click on plus and then you click on the clipping mask. So this allows you to just change like the color of the background. So let's just say I want to do like a black background. You can just eyedrop, get a black color for like the background. Okay, and then if you want to add even more clipping masks on top of what you're working on, you can add layers to it. So for example, I might want to add another layer on top. Maybe I might want to play around with some of these different textures for background. I think this black would be kind of neat. So maybe I can use like a little bit of this orange here. And then I can just, get like a big brush. And then just do some like, light areas of shading in. And maybe I can do like, maybe some like yellows too. So, looks like it's doing it all on the same layer. So, if you wanted to, you can decorate the background a little bit more. You can always add more layers to it. So maybe, I guess add some fog to it. So, you can have a little fun with like the background. So, just something to think about though. All right, and then same thing with the buttons too. If you have like a clipping mask on top, same thing like before. I'm just gonna color this part white, but this will allow you to color the buttons separately. So just make sure you have those layers properly. That way you can decorate the background. So it's just extra credit if you want to decorate the, the playlist part. I think it's a little neat touch you can do with some of the, some really fun textured brushes in the program. All right, so if you want to add text to your playlist, so you're gonna do this for your main title. You click on the wrench, click on add text, and then this will add the text for you. So you can click on the box. So this box is a little tricky to use. Oops. Let me do it again. So it's gonna make it as a separate layer. I'm gonna do it again. So click add text, and then you would use your finger to move the text box around. So I'll just make sure to put it below here. Just try your best to line things up. And then you would click on the show keyboard, or you could just type in your keyboard. I'm just gonna put Thinking Man for mine. And then you could just type it in with the keyboard. Just manually writing it in just because I don't have my keyboard connected. So Thinking Man. So if you go on the menu down here, though, you have like an A. So this will give you like options. The keyboard goes back to the keyboard. So Thinking Mask, you have a couple different fonts you can play around with. So we gotta make sure it selects the whole thing. So click on that A, and now we can change like the fonts. So in the warm up today though, we should have talked a little bit about like different fonts to use. You know, you want to find like a font that would kind of match the title of the work. I go with this Bedouin just because it looks very elegant. And here's where you can kind of change like the size of the text. Cranium kind of stretches it out or thins it. You don't have to really mess around with this, but you can have a little bit of fun with like the typography of the letters. Okay, and then you can do underline, or you want to do like kind of a see-through. Yeah, you can do that too. I kind of like the under. All right, we'll keep the underline. And after you're done, you can just click on done to finish it. Okay, but same thing like before though. If you want to change the colors of the text, you know, just do clipping mask. Oops. Let me undo that. So I actually did a clipping mask on that. I had to create a new layer on top. So always create a new layer and then clipping mask. And then, oops. Let me undo that. So I added one more end on here. Delete. Okay. Okay, so then, you know, plus clipping mask. And then this will allow you to change colors if you need to. Okay, so that's pretty much all you need though for like to finish your project. So, you know, you can really be playful with the colors. Have fun with it. All right.